Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute since I've posted anything. Made this collage a while ago, but those of you guys who are new here, I'm Ren. I'm a non-binary fat queer artist, and I'm moderately obsessed with the tarot. And so here I'm using my super tiny tarot deck, and the card that we drew is the Six of Wands. So I did this pull back in August of 2025, and so it's been almost a full year since I did that. But the Six of Wands, the element is fire, wands meaning action and invigoration. Number 6 is harmony and balance, adjustment, clearing up of misunderstandings. Typically, it means something new is entering the picture, good news, and hope that desires will be fulfilled. So, I mean, for me, this was a while ago, and I've definitely had some really good things happen, some not so great things happen. But when I wrote this, I was at a crossroads, and I was trying to make decisions, uh, and slowly setting out to accomplish my goals. And I think I have done that. I think I've been working towards my journey of independence, and so I'm pretty satisfied with how this card turned out, not just like as a collage, but also as my life, right? So when I started this collage, I actually really struggled with it. I went through a bunch of images to try to find the right thing. Started out with this figure with this sort of red cloak, um, but it didn't quite work out. But I do still really like the way that it looks. But again, the Six of Wands is trying new things, taking that risk, and letting things be, they might not work out. And so I do think that the fact that I did have such a hard time with this collage at first is pretty spot on for the collage meaning and how it turns out overall. So now that I've picked my background, I'm just going to cut it down to size a little bit and then choose what sort of foreground I want. I was looking at these different pictures of space and craters, and eventually I decided to go with the more realistic crater. I really like the rock formations and just how I can tuck, different elements in and out from between the rocks. Alright, once I get that cut down to size, I'm just going to cut into the rock formations a bit, and this will help with the tucking of the different elements. And then since the original Six of Wands has a horse in the image, I want to use this white horse as a nod to the original card. You'll see as we continue on, some elements I keep and some elements I let go of. I really wanted to keep this red cloak in the composition, but you'll see I just can't make it work properly and fit the horse to give it enough emphasis like how I want to. And so I'm just going to glue down my base so that way things will stop moving around and kind of get my horse situated in the picture frame. Like I said, I wanted so badly for this red cloak to work. I even cut off the legs to see if that would help and have kind of this floating figure above the horse. But it's just not working out, y'all. And sometimes that's the way it is with collage. You have to just move on and let the collage kind of do what you want. And I'm much happier with my end result because of that. So here I'm just going to glue down my horse now that I've decided where I'm going to put him. And just get him all situated in there nicely between the rocks. And then as I was gluing, I felt like the area where the horse was coming out of the rocks was a little too heavy. So I removed the rock formation area and just left a little gap of that blue, which I really think adds a good balance to the horse coming out of the rock formation, making it a little bit more emphasized and not so contained back there. Remember, the suit of wands is the suit of fire, and so for my wands, instead of doing branches or sticks, which would be the traditional way of portraying the wands, I decided to take a sunset and cut these kind of towering strips out of it to create my fire wands. The other element I'm cutting out right now is a nod to the original card, which is the crown, the laurel crown that the figure is wearing, and the wreath that is on the sixth wand that the figure is holding. This is where this piece takes a bit of a turn. I kind of let go of the original red figure and instead focus more on just the face and the wreath of flowers and the fire wands. Alright, well by this point I have pretty much completely given up on my red cloak figure, but I still wanted to keep the red in there because the cloak is red in the original card, and red as a color is really symbolic of like passion, innovation. It's a color of action, and so I felt like the red was still important to have in the composition. So instead of having that large area of red with the red cloak, I decided to minimize it and have it be just kind of an accent color around the baby's breath wreath, which I think really works better in the composition and makes that part stand out more than if I had kept the entire red cloak in and made that work. Now here you see I'm just positioning my fire wands. I kind of rounded the tips. I decided I didn't want them to be super pointed, and I really am enjoying how this is turning out. It's definitely more surreal than some of my previous collages, but I think that's a good thing. I think that really works with the card itself and just what I wanted to do with it. So once everything was glued down, I decided I wanted to have a little bit more texture and disbursement of the wreath, and so I actually went in to the collage and used my X-Acto to scratch away some of the ink of the background to create this really great kind of hatching texture to make it look like the wreath and the wands themselves are kind of vibrating with energy. And there you have it, the Six of Wands. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please like and subscribe. I will try to post more often. Thank you so much for joining me.